question I wanted to, since you touch actually one areas I find extremely important is the keyword ecosystem, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to build all the use cases. The use cases have to be crowdsourced to many other organizations which
Absolutely.
have already. So what mechanism have you put in place to build or to cooperate with that ecosystem? What is the attraction point that, for example, I'm a developer, I sit in India, I sit in Vietnam. Why should I use your blockchain? What do you give me that is different than the other blockchains?
So what we give you is we're very agnostic about whatever you're doing. So probably many blockchains are like that as well. But the model would be this: we're trying to build the fundamental infrastructure. So if we build something that allows audits, for example, or allows collaboration, it's a very vanilla platform that we're building. And then it's up to you to say, well, I've actually got, I don't know, a content management system, or I've got a project management system. You go ahead and build that, and we will simply facilitate the back end of it. And you can charge the fees you want up front on the application layer, any subscription model you like, free. It's really up to you. We don't control and really can't control how it is you monetize what you're doing on your end of it. All we're providing you is a neutral service in the back end that's extremely cheap, that is the foundation of your data service.
I kind of summarized 3 points from the entire pitch. The first one is you have an innovative consensus mechanism. Today there's over hundreds of consensus mechanisms, but specific consensus mechanisms have a specific business application. So not one consensus is useful for everything. So you have innovative consensus. The second thing is you have innovative ecological blockchain solution, meaning that you're not going to burn down too many trees or use too much fuel to power your nodes, because your consensus mechanism is much more lean in terms of electricity use. So it's ecological. The third one is you have a use case that can do 1,000 or even more transactions per second. And to answer your question, yes, there's lots of use cases where such a blockchain has application. One, for example, is identity management and IoT devices in a smart city. Even 1 million transactions per second is simply not enough. And the simple reason for that is, imagine a smart city of today. You have TVs, you have parking sensors, you have safety sensors, water meter sensors, and a whole multitude that need to come together to kind of drive the data that powers the smart city, but it needs to be trusted data. So otherwise the smart city collapses. So I think there's plenty of use cases where this technology can prove itself. So I think the best thing is to build up a prototype to demonstrate the power of this technology in one of those use cases. And I think, like Jonathan said, what is driving the value of blockchain, whether it's Bitcoin or any of the other coins that we sometimes refer to, it's the usability of that specific coin. One of the ones that has grown tremendous in the last week or so is Cardano. Why Cardano all of a sudden wake up? Not because Cardano is better than the others. Yes, they have paid attention to the pain points, and they have built some key innovation into the system, and they have delivered the goods. Delivered the goods means there's people building solutions with that blockchain. The same thing happened to Dash. The same thing happened to several others over the years. The ones that have no use cases will simply disappear. So I would like to see from your perspective, what is the use cases that you think you have better traction to prove the usage of your technology?
Thanks very much. I agree with everything you said. I agree those are good use cases, and I think the reason we don't see them is because it's too expensive to do them now, and there's not a good technology yet to do them. So that's what we're trying to breach. So a feature of what we have is that I mentioned we have multi-chain, and we have interoperable chains, but one of the ideas here is that we have local chains. So we have we call it local public blockchain. So if you're in Dubai, you might have a blockchain that handles 1,000 transactions per second and is focused on traffic. You don't really need to mix together what happens on London bus transport with the Dubai chain. You don't want to have to compete for the resources of the nodes that are distracted by your very large smart contract and therefore can't record my morphine data from my doctor. So instead, we can build individual chains that have individual purposes that are optimized and customized for certain types of data. IoT hash data is the example.